And so I wanted to see which one was the best, easiest, and fastest method to all of these like 5-minute curl hacks. I did time it. I'm also going to take into consideration kind of what the average girl would be able to do. So like I still wanted to add that in just for science. And I already did that, girl. Hi guys, welcome to Emmarie Lane, where my goal is to save you money and time by testing similar beauty products and methods to see which one's best for you. Oh, and remind you that you are enough. Okay, don't get me wrong, I love doing my hair. I love taking time to do my hair, but sometimes I just don't have the time, and I know some people don't love spending a long time doing their hair. And so I wanted to see which one was the best, easiest, and fastest method to all of these like 5-minute curl hacks. I picked two that seem to be the most popular and the fastest. I have done both before, but I've never compared to see which one actually ends up like maybe holding up the longest, or is the easiest, or the fastest. I'm going to time them. I'm also going to take into consideration kind of what the average girl would be able to do, so like skill level and all that stuff. Let's get into the video. Okay, so last night, you might have seen me hiding this just a little bit. I wasn't really trying to hide it. It just looks kind of weird. Last night I did a really fast French braid. I just started it like at about eye level and went down on the side of my head. I did time it. I know some people don't know how to French braid and don't want to learn, and that's fine. And so you could theoretically just take the side of your hair, divide it into 3, and kind of braid it tighter at the top so the braid goes up a little bit higher. It honestly didn't make that much of a difference where the braid ended up laying when I did just a tiny bit of a French braid. I did in a couple of sections before I just went to a normal braid. My hair was a little bit damp before I started, and it took me about 1 minute and 25 seconds, I think. So I will take that into consideration with the time portion. I know technically you're not doing that in the morning, but I still wanted to add that in just for science. Normally when I do this, I have a Dutch braid or a French braid start like as high as possible and go all the way down. But I saw a lot of people just doing like 2 braids at the side, or like pigtail braids. And so I thought I would do that method instead. And so I have already applied some heat protectant. I use the Perfect Shine Oil Mist Heat Protection, paraben free. I got it in like a subscription box. And then I also put a little bit of this SGX NYC Volume Dry Shampoo to add some texture to my hair, because this stuff will give you a lot of texture and grit, and that's what I need for my clean hair. I'm using a 1-inch titanium wand, just in case you're curious. And go. So all I'm doing is I am just picking up sections that I don't really like how they look, and also taking the top section and basically curling it just because I didn't take the braid all the way up. Like I mentioned before, I wanted to see how well the curls would hold up throughout the day, so I am going to do a check-in to show you to see like will the waves like hold better than maybe a curl on its own would, and so it's better to do it one way or the other. I want to see how much hold you get for your time spent on it. I am letting the curls sit in my hand for just a second so they can cool down a little bit. One thing to take into consideration is obviously this will like time will vary depending on how long your hair is, and I already did that, girl. How big of sections you take and how fast you are curling your hair. So, but the point is to see which one takes the least amount of time. I'm also leaving some of my ends out because, well, I normally do that, but especially when you braid your hair, you know, the braid doesn't go all the way to your ends. You have a little bit of a tail, so I kind of wanted to try to match that. I don't really miss my short hair. It's been years since I've had short hair, but one thing I do miss is how fast it was for me to curl my hair. Like it literally took me less than 10 minutes. So that's one thing that I'm like, oh my goodness, wouldn't that be nice? Okay, I'm gonna let these curls sit for a second and then I'll break them up. But this is basically the final look. Yes, they're a little bit tight, but once I break them up, it'll be fine and they'll kind of blend better with the waves that I made with the braid. And the total time was 4 minutes and 20 seconds, including last night. It was a little bit under 6 minutes. If you don't include last night, you know, it's 4. But then you also have to double that. And so it would take me a little bit under 10 minutes to do that. If I spent a little bit more time, like I said, doing the braid the night before, it would probably take me less just because I don't have to touch up as many curls to make the waves blend. And so just thinking that through, but like I said, I wanted to make sure someone who didn't know how to French braid could still do this and get similar results. But let's move on to the other side. So for this side, I am going to be putting my hair into a high pigtail, I guess, because it's only one side. I've done this method before in another video and I really liked it. A lot of people do just one ponytail. I actually, because my hair is so long, prefer to do pigtails. I feel like it turns turns out better that way. Plus I don't have to mess with the top as much when I take it out. But same diff, pigtail, ponytail, doesn't really matter. A lot of people also do like the bungee ponytail where they take a bobby pin and like make a bungee cord, and it kind of looks like this, so that way they can just pull the bobby pin out. It more annoys me than is helpful, so I just use a normal ponytail and then take it out carefully once I'm done curling. I have seen those ponytails floating around that you can, like, they have the option to undo them instead of just pulling them out. Maybe I should try them. I'm not worrying too much about like little bumps or anything when I'm putting the ponytail in. I'm not making it super tight, so it's a little bit easier to undo. Also, if I was doing this on both sides, I was making two pigtails, I'd probably try to get a little bit closer to my part, but since the waves are kind of lower on this side, I'm not gonna worry about it too much again. Okay, and then all I'm doing is I'm going to divide my ponytail into kind of random sections and go in whichever direction. I kind of just do whatever floats my boat, and as I curl hair, I push it to the opposite side, so that way I don't accidentally curl it more than once, and I can see how much hair still needs to be curled. Towards the front of the ponytail, I do make sure to do it away from my face though, because that's how I like my curls, away from my face in the front. And then I'm just taking it out of the ponytail and then fixing any pieces that came out kind of wonky. And I'm not necessarily curling all the way down again. When I grab a piece that's already been curled, I'm just fixing like the top half. So like the bottom half is fine. Like you can see on that one, it's just the kind of the part that was in the ponytail that gets messed up when you curl it in a ponytail sometimes. That way I'm not putting more heat than my hair needs on my hair. Okay, done. So that took a total of 6 minutes. So it'd be about 12 minutes for both sides. So this side, including last night, is, what was it? 8 minutes? 9 minutes? Tell me, because I don't remember. And then this side took 12. But you can see that it looks like I spent a lot more time. Like, it looks like I spent like 30 minutes curling my hair for this side, because it's just, it has more volume to it, because like the waves kind of sit on top of each other more because there's more of them. Where with the braid, yes, there's wave to it, but they're smaller. There's not as much shape to them because the braid doesn't make as much shape as the curling iron does. And so like a 4-minute difference really makes a difference. I like both sides, but I feel like this is more my style. I realize that some people might enjoy this a little bit more. So this side's faster, without a doubt. Which one's gonna hold up longer though? That's what I'm curious about. Here's a reference to what my hair would look like if I did the French braid down the middle of my head and then touched it up with some curls. That would take longer though the night before, and that might not be an option if you don't know how to French braid. But just as a reference if you were curious. Hi, editing Emmarie here. Before we get on to the results, I wanted to mention something that I don't think I did the best job at explaining. I wanted to see how well these curls could do by themselves. And what I meant by themselves was not taking the extra 10 or even 15 minutes I might take when prepping my hair, because I have to do a lot of prep in order to make curls last on my hair. That might not be an issue for some people, but I know it is for a lot. And I actually did a whole video on how I make my curls last for days. You can click right here if you want to see it. I'll also link it at the end of the video and in the description. So technically you could combine this video with the making the curls last for days video and still cut back on time, how long you spend on your hair, but it wouldn't be like 5 minutes. I just wanted to make that clear just in case it was confusing. This is what we look like at the end of the day. Okay, so I gotta get a good look. So the curls definitely fell on this side, but like I mentioned, I did like 0 of my tricks besides adding in a little texturizing stuff before I curled to make my curls hold better. So I feel like because there was the no heat aspect, this side, the braid side, ended up holding better throughout the day because it had a little bit more stability because it dried in that shape rather than being heated into that shape. This side still held up decently well. There's still definitely curl there, but the curls definitely fell further down. I think both are good options. I think it's definitely personal preference. I think without the tips and me just really being super fast, I would choose this side, and then if I use the tips to help make sure my curls stay longer and better, I'd choose this side. What do you think? Which one would you prefer? Which one would you choose? Which side do you think won? If you want to see the difference between flat iron curls and curling wand curls and how long they last and the ease and all that stuff, you can click right here. I love you guys so much, and don't ever forget that you are enough. Bye! Mwah. Hi. Editing Emmarie. Oh my goodness. Why can I not say that? Editing Emmarie here. Should we start this over? We should.